Hello everyone, welcome to my little home. Time to do some arts and crafts together, so I hope you're excited. Today we're going to be painting. Today we're actually going to be doing a very popular challenge that has gone through pretty much every single thing you can possibly create. This challenge has been there, and that is the 3-color challenge. Very, very popular, very, very beloved. So we're going to be using my Artist Loft paint, acrylic paint for this. And I'm going to be emptying all my little trays, which makes me very sad because I had them all color coordinated. But hey, it's fine. I'll just cry about it later. Alrighty. And I have black and white. Depending on which colors I get, I might use black and white to lighten them or darken them for the actual piece. Because 3 colors is not very much to do a full painting, but let's just see what we get. I don't show my face, so I'm not sure how to actually prove to you guys that I am not peeking. Ta-da! Happy birthday. If you handed me this as a birthday present, I would love you forever. Should I throw black and white in there? No, probably not. Black and white we're going to be using. Just because if we don't, it's probably going to be pretty messy. Alright, so here's the bag. We're gonna shake it up, and then we're just going to reach in there and take some out. They all feel the same, so we're just gonna grab this one. Aha! Let's see, we got Vermilion. Oh, yep, there it is. Vermilion. Alright, this is kind of a reddish orange. Love it. Let's see, next. Aha, next we got Unbleached Titanium, which is kind of like a it's off-white, basically. It's yellowish white. Alright, those two looks like we're gonna have a warm paint in here. This one. Let's grab this one. Okay. Aha! And then we have deep magenta. Ooh, so we're gonna have like a sort of like really warm painting here. And you can kind of confirm that I did not look, because how could I have been looking into the bag? I'm way too paranoid that people are gonna be mad at me for looking. Alright. And so this is what we're going to be using in our challenge today. Let's get painting. So I pretty much start every painting that I do just by adding some paint to the canvas and covering the entire surface of the canvas with that paint. It helps me get like a base to work from, and I don't feel like I have to stress about it too much. And this one I just laid on the Vermilion and what's it called? Titanium, unbleached titanium. And I just added some white as well, and it got really pale, but that's fine. But now the fun part, after that dried, I got to actually add the subject matter. See if you can guess what this is gonna be before I actually finish painting it. I don't sketch before painting a lot of times, just because the more steps I add, the more likely it is that I'm gonna quit halfway through. If you can relate, raise your hands. So I just sort of sketch with my paintbrush, and I just paint over it if it's bad. But yeah, I think you can kind of guess what the creature in question might be. If you can't guess at this point, then it'll be revealed in a bit. But I'm just blocking of a shape, and then while I wait for a body to dry, I start drawing some trees. Now this was fun because I didn't really have rules in mind, I just sort of started drawing an approximation of a tree. And I mixed black with the magenta and a bit of a vermilion, and it turned into this really nice grayish brown color that works really well for like a birch tree. And so then I just sort of, experimented with it, because I kind of went into the trees thinking they're not going to look good. And so I surprised myself by keeping my expectations low with how well they turned out for me. So basically my advice is, if you don't like drawing trees and backgrounds and stuff, literally just go at it Don't add any big details or anything. Don't get bogged down in making it look realistic. As long as someone can look at it and think, ah, that's a tree, you've succeeded. So just focus on making it, you know, recognizable. And then put this, like, sort of twig in front of the fox. Oh, spoiler alert. I put a little twig in front of them, which adds, it adds the depth, to the image. Because that's a really, I don't want to call it a trick, because it's sort of just, you know, you can do it. But like it, you know, it helps make it feel like the character isn't on top of a flat background, even though the whole thing is 2D, but you know, the illusion of depth. I had a fun time with the background on this, which is weird because usually I dread backgrounds so much, but the background was a part of the charm for this. The background was its own character, which really did, like, thinking of it that way really did help my process. And then here I am trying to make sure the branch behind that smaller branch doesn't look like it doesn't belong there. And of course gotta add some smaller twigs and branches in the background, add depth. I'm not sure if I appreciate this part because it kind of busies it up, but again, the really pale background didn't really work, so I had to do something, and I think this is the best course of action, considering my skill level. I like just silhouetted trees and stuff. It makes it a lot easier. And I had some of a magenta with a vermilion, a little lighter, but far more brown that I got from those. And I just start adding that on there, adding as much depth as I can to the trees. And this part really did bring the depth there. Like, I'm really happy with how that came out. Like, I like painting because you're able to create things without that much detail, and it's still pretty clear what you are making. So don't worry too much, like, 'cause I got really hung up that I couldn't paint because I couldn't add details of paint, because I wasn't very good at manipulating in a way to make a super rendered, awesome detailed things. But then I just, like, I'm not gonna get better slaving over something that is not in my skill level that I don't know how to do. I think I need to take a class in order to do, like, really good details. So what I do is I just focus on the more loosey-goosey style like this that I can easily fit into what I'm planning. And I still get a result I like without stressing so much over it. Because I paint for fun. I don't paint to sell them or to even learn. Learning is inevitable, but I paint just because I like painting. I like, you know, having paintings and making paintings. I'm adding as much shading as I can to make sure that the trees stay, you know, realistic, and that they look like real things sitting there. Trying to add warm tones and cool tones, which is kind of difficult considering what I was given, so it's a very warm painting. But then I just go in with unbleached titanium, just that color on its own, and I add some highlights to the trees on their brighter sides. And I think that really helped define where the trees were, and it added a subtle detail. Like, rim lighting is underappreciated and underutilized in a lot of paintings where it really could have been, like, a game changer. So I definitely recommend to consider adding lights like that to your paintings, because it's not very hard to do, and it looks pretty nice. It adds depth, which is very important. And so then that all that dried, I started with a face. This is a fun part. I'm kind of just happy how well the face turned out, because I think it's my first real painting where I've actually done a lot of detail in how the character looks. And then it's still very under-detailed, but you know, it's a step up from what I usually do, which is very abstract. And yes, this is a fox. I think he's very cute. I just sort of added like stark black eyes and nose. I think I may put a little bit of magenta in the black, but I don't think so actually. It's hard to tell. But again, everything I did was a mixture of those three colors and black or white. And sometimes it got a little bit muddy because I'm not very good at mixing colors, but I think it turned out okay in the end. I'm really happy with this painting. Right now it's in that flat stage where it's kind of like, what's happening here? And you're just like, how am I going to turn this into a rendered masterpiece? And then you start thinking, well, do I need a rendered masterpiece? I'm just having a good time. One thing I wish I could change is that the jaw on the right, the cheek on the right is higher than the cheek on the left. And that's kind of, You see, I'm adding like a shadow and then painting over it, but that still leaves a little bit left, so it's more subtle. Like this, over the mouth, and I do that and just add some subtle shadows. Maybe there's probably better ways to go about it, but that's what I did. And I add some bright colored flecks of fur, and I think that really added a cartoony style. And I've been going for a face. There's a lot of things that I do here that I regret deeply. Like, you will start to see things that I could not let stay. But kind of worked better for me in the long run. Because some mistakes that I made on the face ended up, when I had to paint over them, adding rendering in a way. Like adding more depth that I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't touched it in the first place. And then like I'm just sort of trying to make the face look as good as possible to the focal point. And at this point in the painting, it's really muddy. And like, this is when I was starting to think, ooh, this is not good, this is not good. But that's the thing, like, you kind of have to just keep going. Like, you're never going, like, that's the thing about painting. There's this stage where it's so ugly, and I don't think that, I've never made a painting at least, where I haven't had this stage. I don't think it's possible to have a painting where at some point you don't think, ooh, that's ugly. And pretty much every painting, you're just like, I need to throw this out. It's ruined. But just keep painting. Paint over the stuff that you think is ugly if you have to. Keep rendering, keep adding paint, keep going. And eventually you'll reach a point where you like it. I swear, it happens. I don't know what makes it happen, but it happens to me a lot. Or you reach a point where you've made enough character development that you realize you don't need a perfect painting in order to be happy. And that's pretty nice too. I'm just trying to add a lot of depth. I'm adding some light and some shadow in the fur so that it looks like it's actually got fur texture. I add type of shading on different sides of the face. And I'm just trying to make sure he looks as detailed as I can make him, considering the less detailed style. I guess because I'm going in a more impressionistic style doesn't mean I don't need to be thinking about details and having a good time making details. But I'm pretty much doing like almost pure white at this point, adding a bunch of light spots. And I might have overdid it, but I'm imagining like a winter image here, and so I'm imagining like he might have a little bit of snow on him. Which would be very cute. Very like wintry fox. And then I start going in with probably my favorite thing in this painting, which is I just got the magenta basically, and I started going ham with that. The magenta really, like, I felt like it was being underrepresented, and Vermilion and the titanium were really just overwhelming it. So I just threw the magenta on there and little flecks on his face, and goodness gracious, it works. It works. The magenta ended up being really, like, kind of the thing that made me think, oh yeah, we're out of the ugly stage now. And I just add it to the sky a little bit. And then I just, like, it sort of just makes it work. And of course I'm adding more details to the eyes. Because I didn't want them to be just black voids into nothingness. I just had to wait for a black paint to dry. It takes a while. And so then I did add the details in the eyes. And I'm trying to refine it and make everything look as clean as I can make it. Although it's not... Clean isn't really my style when it comes to painting. But in the end, this is what it looks like. I am really happy with how this came out. And like, I encourage you guys to try the 3-color challenge and just start painting, and don't stress yourself out about it. Just have a good time. Like, all you can really hope for is to enjoy the process, and in the end, you have a painting that you made yourself, and it's there, and either You can display it. You can, you can destroy it immediately afterwards if you don't like it. But there's no stress, there's no drama or issue. Just have a good time. You're gonna enjoy yourself if you just let yourself have a good time. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy yourself. It's so much fun. And like, I don't think enough people focus on having fun. Just embrace it. Embrace it so much, please. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and have a lovely day.